podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to a new podcast, The Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello everyone. Today I'm joined by Rob Yates, a young left-handed batter looking forward to going down under soon with the England Lions alongside England's Ashes party. Thanks for joining me, Rob.
Hello.
Well, congratulations first. You must be so excited at being selected for the England Lions.
Yeah, thanks very much. Delighted to be on. And I'm really excited to go. It's only 2 days away now, 3 days. So on Thursday the 4th, we fly out and can't wait to kind of get on the plane. And I mean, it'll be a few days quarantine. So it'll almost be a delayed excitement to get out of the hotel room. But yeah,
I bet, yeah. Have you been to Australia before?
Never. It's always been a plan to go one day in some form or another. But yeah, it's quite a nice way to visit it first time, I think. Yeah,
first trip and you're representing England. So how did you find out? How do you find out that you've been selected?
Well, I was actually fast asleep in bed and my phone went off. And I thought it was a Saturday morning. I thought it was my alarm, but I hadn't set an alarm, so I was a bit confused. And then obviously saw an unknown number, so I picked it up, and that was the call. So thankfully, I woke up and answered it.
Oh, it was a good alarm call to get on a Saturday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just stayed in bed for the next hour or so, just calling my parents and stuff, and letting people who need to know.
So who made the call to you to let you know you've been selected?
Mo Babat, he's the director of the Lions. So yeah, no, it was a nice call, that.
Yeah, it was a good start to the weekend. So how's the packing going? I'll say this podcast will be going out on Sunday, the 7th. But how's the packing going at the moment?
Well, sort of half already done, I guess, because I've had to isolate at my parents' home. So last week, we got picked up from my uni house. I literally chucked everything I thought I might need in my suitcases, brought them back to my parents' home. So all you need to do is sort of filter out what I am going to take and what I'm not going to take, and I'm nearly there. So I think that'd be a job to do tomorrow or the day after, once it's literally a day or two out. I don't like packing too early because I always find out I need something for whatever I'm doing beforehand, and then it gets too complicated. So leave it all so that when it's washed and dried, and then I'll do it. So
a lot of work for Mum to do the next 2 or 3 days, then, is it?
No, I won't say that. I'm quite. I do my share. It is my stuff. When it comes to packing, that's down to me. I don't like leaving it out of my hands.
And you'll find out when you get there whether you've forgotten something then, won't you?
Yeah, there's bound to be something, isn't there? Although I'm a bit of an overpacker. For a 4-day county game, I can take a suitcase and not use half of the stuff in there.
No, you're like me. I always overpack because I've been to Australia quite a few times, and I always take far too many things.
I think it's better that way, isn't it, than taking too less?
Now, what did you think when you started the 2021 season of your chances of being where you are today, looking forward to going to Australia?
I mean, it wasn't on my radar. I was in a bit of a bad place in my batting at the start of spring. And then once the season started, I found a little bit of rhythm. And then I think once I got that 100 against Essex, I got a bit of belief that I could do it again. I sort of lost that belief over the COVID year last year, which was a bit strange for everyone. And then almost felt like ages ago since my break.
But not what you expected, no. Not what you expected.
No, not what I expected. To be honest, my target was to kind of become a sort of cement my place in the first team at Warwickshire, because I felt it was a bit, my place was under threat a little bit.
Well, let's come back to that. I just wanted to come on to that later in the podcast, but just really go back to your very beginnings of cricket. And what is your first cricketing memory?
My first cricketing memory, that would be playing with my granddad and dad in the back garden. At my very first house, I'd be about 2 or 3. Had to have a proper ball, proper hard leather ball, no plastic balls. I just remember in the summer. Wow,
Well, they were toughing you up early then, weren't they?
Even Christmas time, get them outside of the garden, chucking a ball to me and whacking it around. I think that was a story of my childhood. Just there was a ball around, find a game to play with it.
Because we were speaking off air, and I'm so old here, that in 2005, when England won the Ashes back, that you were only 6 and you can't really remember 2005.
Yeah, no, I can't remember watching it. I vaguely, it's like when you, like a toddler, you have vague images, but I wouldn't have had a clue the significance or what was going on.
But you played for Warwickshire at age levels from, what was it, about as young as 10, was it?
Yeah, 10. Yes, child when I was 10. And stayed in the pathway until signing, which was quite nice. I started playing at Moseley when I was 8. That'd been a Friday night with a tennis ball, and then progressed up to the hardball group, and then I got into the Warwickshire pathway through Moseley Cricket Club in Solihull.
And I noticed, looking through an under-13 game, you opened the batting with Tom Banton, who's since played for England, who now plays for Somerset.
Yeah, he was there right through the age groups. He was in the academy as well when I was there. So I think he left when he was about 16 or 17. Yeah, he was always, even from under 10s, you knew he was going to be something quite special, I think.
Well, you made your second 11 debut at 16 in 2017. It was a 12-a-side match, I noticed. When did you know that you wanted to be or become a professional cricketer? Was that on your radar then?
Yeah, it was. When I say it was on my radar, I always wanted to be a professional sportsman. When I was growing up, it was cricket, tennis, and football. Did my bit with a few academies, football, and then my family weren't too keen on the idea of going down the football path. I also had cricket and tennis, so then I kept tennis and cricket up seriously, and then dropped my tennis. Well, I say dropped, it just fizzled out when I was about 15, 16. So then cricket was the only route then. But I always wanted to play professional cricket right from when I started playing with Warwickshire and the 10s. And then getting the EPP and the academy, you start to think, right, it's more serious. So the academy was 15 and you think, right, it's more of you can see it almost then. But even when you're in the academy, you've got your second team get a bit more of a taste for it. And from there you think, oh, maybe not. You're not quite sure. I was never too sure I was going to get a contract until I was actually offered a contract.
A lot of people, you say you go through the pathway, but a lot of people you've played with through those pathway haven't made it. And you made your first team debut against Hampshire in May 2019 at Edgbaston, and you were facing Carl Abbott and Fidel Edwards. That was quite a tough start.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'd already had my List A debut like a week or two before, so I kind of got those nerves of first team game, but obviously first class games. So about first class, got that something a bit more special. And then having Carl Abbott and Fidel Edwards, quite an introduction. It was quite cool though. Like that season, I just remember that summer having loads of like really exciting challenges. Because to me, I didn't have that much pressure on me then. I don't think it was almost quite naive going in, playing against all these names that I've heard against, and I didn't have anything to lose really. So that's how I saw that. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, I noticed you had a good run in the side, 10 matches before you made your first century against Somerset, a game that, funny enough, Tom Banton was playing in, and facing the two Overtons, Dom Bess, you got a 141. What do you remember about the first century?
Yeah, I remember it quite well actually. I just remember well how special it was, and I got the 100. I remember, I think I was on 98 over lunch or something, and I wanted one on my legs, and lo and behold, I got one on my legs. Hit it for 2, and it was quite a special feeling. Someone sent me a video of it somewhere, but I think that's been lost over getting new phones and stuff. Yeah, that's a day I won't forget in a hurry.
So did that innings make a lot of difference to how you felt as a Warwickshire player?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it gave me the confidence that I could do it. It's always that 100 that you believe you can do it, but you don't know if you can do it until you do it. I think it also showed other people as well that I could do it. But yeah, that gave me a lot of confidence going into the following year, and even coming into this year, that I can do it. It's almost one in the bank that you can do.
Yeah, well, that season you got 570 runs and averaging 30, and then, as you say, you moved into 2020, where you didn't start playing first-class cricket until the beginning of August. What was it like waiting to play that long before you could play?
It was a bit weird. Just everyone in general, it was a strange time, wasn't it? No one was quite sure what to expect. I actually remember coming back from that time off. I can't remember how long it was now. We were allowed to train during July before the season started in August. Felt in the best form of my life when I went back to play. We had a few warm-up games and practice sessions, and then the season came, and an absolute stinker. I was awful in the Red Bull stuff. But it's just one of those where you learn how to deal with challenges like that. But yeah, it was a strange year. Almost like you're waiting for it to start for so long, and then it was just over straight away.
Yeah, because it was only those 5 games, I think, was it? But you also made your T20 debut in 2020, I think.
Yeah, I did. I had quite a nice time with the T20 that year. I got a small go towards the back end of the season. And then quite enjoyed that. It was something almost try and shrug off a label of just being a Red Bull only player, which I'm sure I'll have for a while. But I don't see myself as a Red Bull only player. I can do it in the white ball. Just need to kind of show it.
And you mentioned earlier that you're at Birmingham University studying English language. Don't worry, we're not onto the gorillas yet. Did 2020 allow you to catch up with your studies? Not playing so much cricket.
No, it actually didn't. It gave me time to think and sort myself out the next year. But that year, it was all a bit just for many reasons. I didn't actually get ahead and, as you suggest, get ahead and sort of better myself at uni. But yeah, I mean, it allowed me time to think, and I split my 3rd and final year, which was a thought that came up in COVID. So this year, I'm still at uni, is my 4th year, but it's technically the final half of my 3rd year. And now this Lions call up could turn into a 5th year, but I'll be avoiding staying in uni digs if I have to do an extra year next winter.
You were saying earlier you just don't want to stay in digs with George Garrett. Is that what it is?
Absolutely.
Yeah, George was on the podcast sometime last year. So, but let's move on to 2021. Now you got 907 first-class runs. You scored 5 centuries. You won 2 trophies, the County Championship and the Bob Willis Trophy. You also got 21 catches. What a fantastic season.
3 wickets as well?
Well, I've got another thing, actually. You also played cricket in October, and not many people do that.
Yeah. It was a great season. I'd have taken that at the start of the year. I didn't know about the 20 odd catches. That's quite a nice stat. Yeah, there's plenty that I can take positive from the season, and I'm quite glad there's plenty of areas that are I think I can work on, and I know I can work on to try and hopefully make it even better season in years to come.
Did it change you opening the batting rather than batting at 3 because Dom Sibley was playing for England?
Yeah, I mean, I used to prefer batting at 3. I don't know why. There's something that I did a mixture when I was growing up between 3 and opening. And in my first year, I preferred batting at 3 because you get that time to kind of relax when you come off the field. It's almost a bit of a psychological thing. But then opening, I've grown to prefer more now because I'm a terrible waiter. I can't wait in the dressing rooms. I don't really know how to. I don't know what to do. That's just me in general. I can't sit down for 2 seconds. So, but either can be the same sometimes, can't they? Opening didn't have to change much in terms of actual batting. It's more a psychological thing, I think.
And of those 5 centuries, you got one in the Bob Willis Trophy final. What was your favourite innings of the season?
I think the one against Essex at the start of the year. I think that was my favourite one because did a lot of work over the winter on spin, and then came up against Harmer on a day 4 pitch. Needed 260 odd to win, and to be there at the end and win a game for Warwickshire was quite a good feeling. I wish I was fans in on that game actually, but state of affairs with COVID at that stage we didn't. But in terms of innings, I thought that one quite enjoyed the one at Lords as well. But I'll go with Essex. Yeah,
that must have been the Essex game. Must have been one of those games that were being streamed to the world then. Yeah.
Yeah, not quite sure the world, but yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you enjoy playing in the T20 and Warwickshire got to the quarterfinals. Is that an area of cricket that you want to play more of and also get in the 100 one day?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I love trying to expand my game. I think 2020 is quite exciting. That's the whole point of it, really. It's quite a nice release as well from kind of Red Bull cricket. Because Red Bull cricket, naturally, probably heard, can be quite draining, long season in terms of mentally. It's challenging. Obviously, T20 has its own set of challenges, but it's a nice, refreshing new set of challenges, and it's a way to kind of do something that I don't usually get to do. Have a hit out, and I always liken it to a football match, more like your energy's right at the top all the way through the game, especially when you're fielding. Quite enjoy fielding in 2020s, just running and running and running. You feel like you've had a proper workout after it. I'm quite excited to try and improve my game in the 2020s. Hopefully one day I can get drafted in the 100.
Yeah, what did you think to the 100? One of your players, Chris Benjamin, was setting it alight, really.
Oh, he's brilliant, wasn't he? He tore it up. The 100 was fantastic. I thought I wasn't too sure what I was going to expect at the beginning. And then the crowds and everything, there was a lot of people who I knew who didn't know too much about cricket, but they were there watching, they were talking about it. And I've heard other people say that about their friends and people they know. So it's clearly started off on the right tracks.
Coming up next week, my guest is one of England's favourite cricketers of the late 1980s and 1990s, and one of its fastest ever bowlers. Here's a clip with Devon Malcolm talking about his batting. The podcast will be available from Sunday, the 14th of November.
Tell you what, I mean, a lot of people make fun of my batting. Yes, my batting at the best of time was comical, but I will tell you this. I work very hard to get in my batting average all the way up to 6.25, mate. So don't take the mickey. But what normally happens as a number 11, say when I played, it's not like now where, guys have their batting practice and all that business at number 11, and you have quite a bit of time practicing. At number 11, I normally get out there, try to entertain the crowd, hit sixes, hit fours, get my shoulder warm up, ready to bowl. Yeah, but you talk about the great Shane Warne, fantastic bowler, and if you ask Shane Warne, he said I possibly hit him for a couple of the biggest sixes. I remember playing probably '94 at Adelaide and actually hit him out the park. I mean, you can't hit people out the park in Australia. The pitches the grounds are so large. But at Adelaide, I remember putting him in the bushes in Adelaide. All the guys were saying they'd never seen a ball hit that far.
And now back to Rob, where we find out more about gorillas. Right, we've got to go back to the Essex game, which is the one that seemed to pick up your story of your English language degree when I think you had to delay doing a dissertation about gorillas.
Yeah, I should have never mentioned it. Right? No, I didn't actually have to delay it in the end. I think I was just a bit behind track on it, but I got it in on time.
So you've got to give us a bit more detail. Why are you doing a dissertation about gorillas?
Well, okay, it's not a dissertation. It was just one. It was an assessment for one module. And the module was animal communication and language evolution. So we had to do a research project of our own, either on language evolution or animal communication. And I thought, why not do it on gorillas? Like, there's plenty of weird and wonderful other assessments that my mates did. I thought, do it on gorillas. Actually, although it was painful doing it at times, I actually quite enjoyed it in the end. So I think I did a comparative of their chest beating functions. Don't ask me because I can't remember. I think I found the results against. I don't think they matched up with my hypothesis. So yeah. That label stuck with me, but it's all right. I got a first in it, and which I've never got before, so I was very happy with that.
So if David Attenborough needs an assistant, then you're the man.
Exactly. Yeah? Exactly.
Yeah. Well, wherever you go now, if you continue to score runs, there's bound to be some puns about gorillas in there, isn't there? So
yeah, I'll take it. Take it on the chin.
Well, let's just sort of get towards the end of the podcast and go back to the Lions trip. How many games have the Lions got lined up when they get out to Australia?
So there's 3, and those 3 are. I think there's a 3-day game between. Now I'm pretty sure it's a mixed inter-squad game. So there's the Test squad and the Lions squad. And my impression at the moment is that the team's going to be mixed for that 3-day game. And then there's a 4-day game. And I'm under the impression that one is the England Test team versus the Lions team. And then there is a game against Australia A, running parallel with the first Test match. I think that starts the day after the first day, just because of in case anyone gets injured or something.
So you've got some tough cricket ahead then?
Yeah, I do, but it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Plenty of new challenges. Yeah,
especially playing against the England side.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be another challenge in itself. That'll be good for second summer. Never goes amiss.
And you're going to be based in Queensland, is that right? Yeah.
Queensland, yeah. Brisbane, Gold Coast, and Brisbane.
And the big question then, what do you think are England's chances of winning the Ashes?
I think they've got every chance, haven't they? Why not? Well, they're both pretty evenly matched when Australia came here. we've got plenty of experience in our bowling lineup, so why not?
And you think Ben Stokes will make a big difference?
Yeah, massive. That's great news to see him back. We've seen what he can do, can't we? He's world class, one of the best players in the world. I think from watching, he just brings something extra to the team with his cricket and just his charisma on the pitch.
Right, well, I'm going to have to pin you down for a prediction, though. What's the score going to be? 5 tests?
2-1 England.
Right, we'll hold you to that. When the England boys hear this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Rob, for joining me on the Paddock and the Pavilion. The very best of luck on the flight, your first flight to Australia. And I hope all goes well. And as we said off air, we might be able to get a podcast out of you when you get there to find out what you've been doing in quarantine.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So hopefully catch up with you again in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, hope to see you in quarantine.
Yeah. Okay, look forward to it. Thanks again for joining me on the Paddock and the Pavilion.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Paddock and the Pavilion. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and now on Instagram at the Pad and Pav. Don't forget, if you like the show, please do leave us a rating and review.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
How powerful is the Cox Network? So powerful that one day the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox Network. With gig speeds everywhere. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox. Bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.